Center 2. So, the Messy Center and the Art Center all in one. So this is Make a Compass and Compass Art, and feel free to adapt the Make a Compass part if you have more experience making a compass and you want to make this better, go for it. First you're going to just give them a background on what a compass is for. It's a tool to help people find their way and navigate, and then you're going to talk a little bit about how a compass works. And a compass works based on the Earth's magnetic field. And then they'll probably go, well, what's Earth's magnetic field? What's that? Well, it's a field that's due to electrical currents deep inside of the Earth's molten core. And the two poles each act as a magnet. And then a compass has a magnet in it that is attracted, keep it away from those points, that's attracted to the North Pole. And so that's, you use that convenient magnetism to help you navigate. When you're setting this up, I was talking to another parent and they said, don't forget that the desks have metal on them, and so you might be cautious or about that or aware of that, and maybe set it up on the floor. Try not to have very many magnets or dust in that area, anything metal. So I've got my bowl of water. This is what I'm using for a lid because my magnets kept sinking in my plastic lid. So you'll just float that in there, and then there's a magnet that says up, and you can put that one inside of there, trying to center it so that it's, so in theory, this should be spinning until it's pointing north. And it's kind of spinning really slow, but it's on, there's metal. So, in the event that that's happening for you and you're struggling, that's why I have the second magnet, and you can, you can just demonstrate the principle of the magnets being attracted to each other. So wherever I move this magnet, that moves. If I had a more scientific magnet, it would have a much more definite north and south working on it. So this is just meant to demonstrate the basics of the Earth's magnetic field and the compass and how those two magnets go together. Does that make sense?
So it's not really working, it's not?
Right now it's not working. At my house outside, it worked great. So if you want to go outside, that would be...
Or the floor out in the hallway?
Or the floor in the hallway might work better. Absolutely, yeah. Because out in my house outside, then, you know, it's spun slowly, and then it finally rested itself at north. You could put it outside and do the craft and come back and look at it and, you know, and discuss what had happened in effect. Another piece of it then is that it had a small one of these that comes as rows, and they shrank it so that it would fit on top of the magnet. So the small one you would just put, well, see, now that's kind of, no, that's north. So never mind.
It's not pointing north?
No. We'll pretend it's pointing north. And and so the smaller one of the compass rose you could set on top of here, and then the kids could orient themselves in the classroom or outside. It's trying to point north. It wants to.
Yeah, that table's full of metal, though. It's full of metal.
I'm telling you. So, all right, on to the craft. Are there any questions about this great experiment? If you're lost in the woods, probably you should look for moss on a tree. rather than.
Yeah, and if anybody does come up with a better way to demonstrate that, share it with me, mitchellelf@gmail.com, and I can pass it on to the class coordinators and pass it on to the team.
I struggled hard with that. I played with lots of different magnets in my house. So, the craft is just another way for the kids to, where's my cheat sheet?
Is it your notebook?
Yeah.
Your notebook's right there. Sure.
Spent a long time. Oh, I know, one more important thing though is the mnemonic, so you can start getting them thinking about how to memorize north, east, south, and west. Never eat slimy worms, and that's in your outline halfway through. So if you can remember never eat slimy worms, you can remember that if you can find north, then you can find everything else in order. If you know this is north, then you know eat slimy worms. All right. When I was a kid, it was never eat someone's watermelons. All right. So part 2 is the compass art. Show the students a compass, and so there's a compass in here, and you can have them show them that. So that how it works is the red should line up with the red. Wherever the red is pointing is north. So. And you can talk to them a little bit about how that works and show them for real the actual magnet working. And in Center 3, they really go over specifics of how this works. So you just want to introduce it and let them know it exists. And the craft is really simple. Ahead of time, you want to trace, and for kindergartners for sure, cut out the circles and cut out the needles. For the older kids, you can just trace the circles and trace the needles. Each student should get one of the circles. After they cut out the circle, they need to label it north, east, south, west. The older kids can add northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest. Cut out the needle, and then attach all of them together with a metal rod. And then you can all stand up, and somebody can orient themselves with a regular compass, and they can all figure out where they're standing in the room with their hand weight. Any questions? If you want any details you want to add to this too, if you're map and compass connoisseur, go right ahead.
So will the parents cut those out before for the kindergartners?
For the kindergartners, yeah, absolutely. I would recommend cutting out the circles and the arrows ahead of time for the kindergartners for sure. Yes.
Yeah, construction paper provided by the teacher or ELF?
There is construction paper in the box. In the inside of this plastic bag, there are outlines for the needles and for the circles. And there are also suggestions in here, kindergarten through first grades, what to do, and second through fourth grades. For kindergarten through first grade, trace a circle on a piece of paper, construction paper. There's some in here. If it runs out, then it shouldn't run out, I don't think. But if it does, you should let one of us know. Have the kids draw north, south, east, and west in the appropriate places, and yeah, basically everything I just said. The older kids, you add the in-between directions. Yeah, what I just said. But that it's all outlined in here.
As with any handouts that we do for ELF, as the volunteer for that center, just keep all of them and give them to the teacher at the end of your ELF day, and the teacher can put them in the Friday folder. We don't really want kids running to their backpacks or desks because it's very disruptive to the rest of the class. So if you're running a center that has a handout or a take-home, just keep it all together and give it to the teacher to put away with the Friday folder. Is that it for Center 2?
I think that's it for Center 2. Yep.
Anybody have any questions on Center 2? ELF starts out really simple every year. Our first sessions, thankfully, are very simple because we have all this administrative stuff to do. So if you're kind of yawning at the craft, they get better. And ELF gets a lot more exciting. Rocks and Minerals, the kids go crazy, especially the boys. But the girls like it too. So that's all good. Okay, Center.